Well, hey everyone, and welcome to the next video in the character select tutorial in Unity. So what we did in the first video was we went ahead and created our character class, which is a scriptable object. It just takes in some data that we would want to put for our character, and we have an initialized function. We created a character select script that's going to reference the character data scriptable objects and actually show the data inside the UI for us to do selections and things like that, and it holds reference to all the UI elements, so we can just drag and drop them in here. So what we're going to do is, in this video, we're going to go ahead and create the UI. This can be done however you see fit. This is just a guideline you'd be able to use to just get the concept around of like a very simple character select. So what we do is we'll come into here and we're going to go to UI and we're going to create a panel. So it's going to automatically create a canvas for you in an event system. So what we'll do is we're going to take the canvas. We can leave it screen space overlay. It's fine. This is just going to be just for tutorial. We want to be able to scale with screen size, and then we can set this to where it's a 0.5 match. We want to match the width and the height. It scales. Leave the pixels per unit. That's fine. Reference resolution is going to be that. And that's it for that. So in the panel, what we'll do is I would like it to be darker. You know, like black, and then we can just make it even darker if you want. Like that look, that would be fine. That's just a background. You can put a image if you want to have a background. You know. So what we're going to do is the panel's where we're going to put everything at. So what we said we needed was we need a left button, right button, and a select button, and then 3 texts and an image. So let's go ahead and put the image first. So we'll go to the panel, go to UI, and we'll go to image. Okay, so this is going to be the image. We want to put it directly in the middle of the screen. So what we're going to do is click this box here. Press the Alt key and the Shift key, and then press in the middle here. What that's going to do is it's going to move it directly into the center of the screen. It's going to be anchored there. So anytime, because over here we set scale with screen size, we're telling the image, hey, because we're setting your anchors in the middle, where anytime this screen changes, I want you to change to make sure you're in the middle of that square no matter what, in the middle of this panel no matter what. That's what we're doing here. So this will be the image, which we can rename it to Sprite Box. You know, it's Sprite Box. I like that. Sprite Box. Okay. And then we'll come over here. We're going to go and create a button. This. And you can actually click on this, hit Control D, and it's going to duplicate it. And then do it one more time. Okay, so this first button will activate our scene. Click the 2D. You have to zoom out a bit. Right click with your mouse. You can move. You want to get kind of in the center of the screen. Find your buttons. There we are. Okay. You can double click it. It'll zoom in here. So the first button, we'll call it left button. And we'll go into, drop down the arrow, go to the text component. And we're going to call it left. So it's going to change the text on the button to left. We can go ahead and keep rich text. We want to keep it aligned in the middle here. We want it to wrap, truncate, best fit. It'll scale the size based on the button if the button scales, but we don't want it to scale. So we'll do that. And when you click on it in the inspector. Left click and hold, and then you can move it. Now, whenever you move it, I'll show you a cool trick. So left click the button and hold it. Hold the Shift key, and then move left. Whenever you move left, work for me. So Control Z everything. Okay, so there's the left button. It's scaled down. We don't want that. So the left button's hidden behind everything. So what we have to do here is we'll do button 2, which is going to be the button on top. So we'll go ahead and click it, hold shift, move it to the right. It only moves down. Okay, we'll move it down just to get it out of the way. Then we'll go to button 1, click it, hold shift, bring it down. We got 2. Okay, so here we are with the left button. And I want to reset this, make sure this is working correctly. There it is in the middle. The text is going to say text is going to say left. And normal font size is 14, line spacing is 1. See how the text moves, align by geometry, wrap, truncate, best fit. And then that's what it was. 161.30. I changed the height of it by accident. There we go. So the text doesn't look like it's in the center, though. We don't want that. My geometry. Tell you what, we're having issues with this button. We're gonna delete it. We're gonna come back and we're just gonna create another button. What was going on with that one? But we'll do this, and then we'll click this. Alt Shift, bam, in the middle. Okay, so this one will be left button. That. We'll come into here, do the text, left, and we'll leave all that alone. Truncate, wrap, align by geometry, best fit. So what best fit does is it takes the size and scales the size of the text based on that. If you don't want that, you can do this, and it's just going to default. But I want it to best fit. We can see it really well. Button. Yep, that's everything. So click here, hold shift. Well, we'll just move it this way. We'll move it to like -160. We can move it in the hierarchy too. That button 1. This will actually be right button. Okay, and then right button, and the text will be best fit. Right. Take that. You move that so it's centered. 160. This one's -60. And then this one will be +160. So that way they're evenly across from one another. The height on the left button is 0. The right on this one should be 0 as well. There. So now it's all the same dimensions. And then this button here, you guessed it, will be our select button. Make consistency here. Yeah. We got our select button, we got our text. Text, we can just make it best fit. Come into here, we can just select. Yes, what we want. Okay. Now this one, I personally want to pin it to the bottom of the screen in the right corner. So you can go there, press Alt Shift, bottom right corner, right here. It's gonna pin it. If you come into here and you change the resolution of this to like this, you notice how all the buttons change sizes. If you do like a 5x4, see how everything shrinks to where it's still in the middle? It's because we anchored it accordingly. So we can do 16:9. So here we go. We got all our buttons. It looks a little nifty now. That's cool. Alright, well, we want it to be able to start doing some things. Well, one thing we also need is we need 3 texts. We need a character level, name, and description. So we'll go back to the panel real quick. Panel. And then we'll do UI, and then we'll just create some text. Text is going to be a little hard to see because of the color. So let's go ahead and change the color to white. Because it's going to be easier to see that way in a minute. That's white. We can best fit it. Come into here. and duplicate it twice, Control D, or you can right click and click duplicate, that'll work too. So then we want 2, click here, hold shift, bring it down however far you want. You know, this one we're going to use for, we're going to come back to that one, I'll tell you why in a second. Then we'll come down to this one, click in here, hold shift, bring it down. Okay, and then here's the regular text, click in here, hold shift, bring it down. So we need to bring everything down a little more. Click shift, click shift, click shift. This, like that. So we'll just do this, and it's like, oh man, look at all this. Yeah, well that's cool. It's all anchored in the middle. So what we're gonna do is this text, we kind of want to make it in the middle though. Yeah, I like this. So on these, you can click one, hit Control, click another one, and then when you change the values, it changes it for all of them. Well, that's cool. That's what we want. So this one is going to be the level text. Level text. Like this. And then you can just put it level just to see what it looks like. This will all be overwritten, but it's just for purposes to help you understand where it's going to go. This will be the name text. Name. And then this one's going to be the description. And then we'll do description text. So this one here, though, we're going to want to be a little bigger, because remember when we went inside the character, we also have the description to where we can put multiple lines if we want. Well, we want to make sure we can accommodate for that. So what we'll do is, for the description, we can actually make the description quite bigger. So you can make it longer, however you want. Like right there. So what you can do is, like, you can do the width to be like 450. The height, you can make it 100. That's no, we'll drop. That's a decent size. And then what we'll do is we'll bring this down. So that'll be like how much description you can fit in there. And that'll be the description. If you don't like the way that looks, what we can do is we'll keep the height the same as these, so that way this it doesn't look. So we'll do 30, like that. And then what we can do actually is take this, bring it down so it's not too big like that, because it does look kind of weird, I know. So what we'll do is we'll turn the BestFit off, and then you can change the font size if you want to a bigger size. And then we can do that for everything too. So like this one, Alt, turn the BestFit off, level name, but you can change the size to what you want so they don't scale. That's just one of the things you can do for best fitting. So if we go over here to all of these texts, hit Alt, click all of them, and then take best fit off, there you go. They'll still fit. So we can leave them off if you want. Best fit, that's just how you use it if you want it to scale. There's your level text, name text, and your description. Well, that's cool. So how are we going to get all this set up? What we're going to do is come over here to character select. We're going to go and put in 2 characters. Hit the number 2, hit enter. Drag whichever character you want first. Drag the other one next. And then we want our left button here. Want our right button here. Want our select button here. We want our character level text here. Name text here. Description text here. We want our sprite box here. So now everything is set up and good to go. This is what our canvas and everything's going to look like. So what we're going to do now is, now that this is set up, what we're going to do is in the next video, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with all of these inside of code so we can actually start getting the visuals to pop up and everything to display accordingly. So that's what we'll do in the next one. Then before we go, if you want, You can rename this, not the panel. You can rename the canvas to whatever you want too. You can name it to be like character like UI. That's the UI, and then you can leave it like that. That way you're not confused, and you can do this. So I'll go ahead and end the video here, and in the next one I'm going to show you how we can take all of this and actually tie it into the code so we can actually start getting things viewed on the scene. So thank you for sticking with me on this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a blessed one.